Welcome to Blush Podcast, where the books are swoony, the banter is a little chaotic, and the spice is always on the table. Today, we're joined by special guest, author Jenn Bullard. Jenn writes stories packed with heart, tension, and characters you can't help but obsess over. Today, we're chatting about her books, her writing journey, and the moments that make readers laugh, swoon, and maybe fan themselves a little. So get comfortable, grab a drink, and let's dive in.
Okay. Hello. We are here with another Heathens and Heartbreakers attending author. We've got Jenn Bullard with us. She writes Dark Omegaverse, Dark Rockstar, and Enemies to Lovers. Why Choose Romance, which is all fabulous.
All stuff.
Yes. I also love this, that many of her books have female, or male. She just follows her characters and they tell her who they love, which I love. And she says, they drive, I simply tell the stories, which is fabulous. I love it. Yeah, and you have a huge array of really fun books. Can you give an overview of your books?
So my brain is weird and everything has to connect. And I started Not My Sin, oh my goodness, almost 2 years ago. And somebody asked me, did I know that everything was going to connect to that one book? And I said, no, I had no idea. And now we are 11, 12 books into what I'm calling the Jennverse, and they all connect in some way. So I don't like to say goodbye to my characters, so this way I never have to.
Aww.
So yeah, so it works. But if you've ever seen like a serial killer, like the way that police officers sit there and have all the random like strings of string theory, that's what people have started doing with my books.
That's awesome. Yeah, because it'd have to be confusing, right? Like not, yeah.
Yeah, so people have to connect it, and it's fun. Yeah. Like, I just reintroduced other characters into the book I just finished, which is not a happy ending. I swear there is a happy ending. It's just a really sad book. It went way more pitch black than I thought. I realized that I am a horror author because I get really, like, gore in my, like, torture because bad guys have to pay, obviously. And so I introduced the trigger of inappropriate use of a sewage pipe. Yes. So like, and Not My Sin, it was Penis Picasso, and people were actually trying to Google what Penis Picasso was, and they were really bad that they didn't know where it was. And so I was like, this is how I don't get banned on Amazon. So it's horror with romance in a way.
Because you had another really funny trigger warning. I'm going to see if I can find it.
If ever and whenever you have an audiobook done, I don't even care if you hire me as your narrator. Just let me say a few of those words in the book and my life will be happy. That's
so I do have a few. I have Not My Sin in audio, and Fight is in audio. Forget is about to be proofed by me into audio. And then Not a Pucking Fan, which was my hockey book. That's going into multi-narration duet, and I'm really excited about that. So yeah, they're coming. It's just I have such an extensive backlist, and I have to do them myself, pay for them myself. So slowly, as I can afford to do them, I'm doing them. Let's see. I've had inappropriate use of a jackhammer. That was in Liaden's Code. I remember asking my husband, because I asked my husband, if I were to nail your balls to the floor, where would it hurt the most? And he looked at me, was so betrayed. But he answered, and he said, why can't you write happy books, honey?
This is happy, though. It makes me happy.
Right?
It was Cummy Lotion. Cummy Lotion made me cackle. It was so fun. Fancy Peens and Cummy Lotion. Yes.
That was fun. Yeah, that was in my Beauty's Monsters Beasts
fairy tale one. Yeah.
Yeah, that one. That and Beauty's Monsters Demons. That one made me laugh because it's the only book that doesn't have MM in it because they just didn't want to share that I've ever written. And I was like, okay, fine, whatever. So that's why I said they drive, I don't. And her teacher is actually one of the demons, and he hates her. They're scent matched. They're fated mates. He hates her, and he hates the fact that her scent is everywhere. And he was like, you know what? That's it. I'm going to make sure she smells me on her skin and she doesn't know why. And so, yeah,
Yep.
that happened.
I was just like, well, this is totally for me right here after I
That
read
was
that.
fun. That
Yeah.
was fun. I want to do another monstrous book. I just have to find the time. I have a succubus demon omegaverse book that I
Ooh.
want to write. I have the covers. I have it all. It's just finding the time. It would end up being 4 books: a prequel, the duet, and then like maybe like her daughter's happy ever after. So like, and the prequel is the mom's story so that you can understand where the daughter's coming from in the middle. So
I
it's a
love it.
whole, it's like, it would be like 3 generations of books in 4
Yeah.
books.
How do you keep track with like, because you have a million ideas in your mind that you don't have time to do? How do you keep track of your ideas? Do you write them down or are they all just up in your head?
Both. I have notes on my phone, so I keep them all there too. But a lot of them are just working in the background of my brain because I have books for the next 3 years in my head right now, and they're all interconnected. I know it's crazy. I also only write on my phone too in Google Docs.
Wow.
So I don't know. I've got like 40 books now, and they're all written on my phone.
Do
'Cause I
you
write faster that
actually
way.
type or do you do voice to
Fingers. So my thumb. Yeah, my thumb's gonna work out.
Wow.
And
That
my keyboard is also set up a little bit differently because of the way that my brain works, because I'm
mhm.
very ADHD. So, like, I think it's like the Y and the S are switched because that's the way my brain works. And so, like, when people look at my phone and to write something or like to see something, they're like, why is the keyboard messed up? And
I
I was like,
can't make any
but
words.
it's the way that my brain works. And so I never miss a key that way.
That's awesome. I didn't know you could do that, like,
Me
change
neither.
where the keys are. That's cool.
I would do that just to fuck with people.
Yeah, yeah.
Like how I'll take somebody's phone and I'll be like, "Let's go on an adventure," and I take pictures when I have it, and then if I can get in someone's phone, like one time I changed if they wrote LOL, it said something about their butthole, like it auto switched it. I don't remember who I did.
Yeah, like, she knows my passcode, sadly. I don't know why.
Sadly,
Well, because you fuck with my phone all the time.
but I've never done anything
Right.
bad to your
No,
phone.
but I was like, "Now you're gonna do this, I swear."
It's only been funny, entertaining.
It has been funny, entertaining. You know how, like, it would correct fuck to duck? So I taught my dictionary not to do that. Like, if I type fuck, I really mean fuck, except the, like, 2 times a year that I actually type duck, it changes it to fuck.
Of course it
I'm
would.
like, "Well, okay, fine, fine."
Love
Anyway,
it.
how do you get your ideas for your books? Because you have so many that are always in there. Where does it all come from?
Sometimes it's from Reels. Sometimes it's something random that I saw, like, commented in a post, and I go, "Ooh, that would be really cool to do," right? And so then I'll write it down. I really like mafia, but, like, not like the Virgin Mafia, like mafia, if that makes sense.
Mhm.
And so Not to Be is happening in July. I just have to move up the date. And that's going to be stepsisters, right? And they're in love with each other. And the dad's like, well, I gave you your time to figure it out. You know what I mean? And you knew I didn't approve. You had 2 good years with her, like a few good years with her. You turned 21. I need you to do this to the family. You have to get married to, like this other person from this family to marry together, our families. It's the best thing for us. And so she's really upset about it, right? And he's a jerk, okay? But it ends up being that they're also set matches too. What are the odds, right?
Oh,
So it's a megaverse. It's dark a megaverse. It's going to be in like forbidden verse world because they're step siblings, and it's going to end up being that she's crying at the altar, and he's so irritated with her that he's like, "What do you want? Like, if I could do anything for you outside of letting you go,
mhm,
what do you want?" And she looks out to the crowd at the church, and there she is, because of course her dad is a miserable person and makes her go, right, to watch them get married. And he says, "Fine, you can have her. Just say yes." just tell the pastor yes. And she goes, yes. And so it ends up being this whole different thing, right? So like it's going to be really interesting how that all works. But yeah, there's a lot that is going to end up happening. So like, and that's going to be several worlds that collide too, because this MC sticks his foot in it politically, like as far as the mafia world, you know what I mean? Like he's always in trouble, and he's been in trouble in several books, and so like all that's gonna collide, and it's just gonna be messy. It's gonna be fantastic. So like I live for messy plot lines, like drama and all that. So yeah, but like I'm like, oh, I can't think about you because then I'll want to write you, and I can't write you until at least April or May, because right now I am ahead by 2 books in my schedule.
Wow, that's awesome.
That's gotta be so hard though. Like when you're motivated to write something and then it's like you have to wait. Like that's gotta. I would lose my ADHD brain. I would lose my mind. I don't know how you do it. So kudos to you because
but there's so many other things that have to release. Like I have a release on Friday, and that's for Silva, and that's in the Beware the Widows series. So that's going to be really good. The idea is that there is this mansion, if you would, and he teaches Omegas against their will how to be the perfect step for Omegas, right? So, and then he's going to sell them off to these wealthy people, okay? And they end up escaping, and they create their own little sanctuary. So, Beware the Widows, right? So, and it's about how they all find their happy endings, okay? And this is the second book in the series, and Alicia and I are, you know, we brought forth the world, so to speak, it's multi-author, and so she and I worked really close together because our Omegas are twins. So
that's so
the
cool.
plot lines are right on top of each other, so to make sure everything flowed. So like that's going to be really fun. Like it's interesting to see what sisters don't tell each other, no matter how close, to protect the other one. So that's what you end up seeing in those books. And then and then we have an MM that releases next month that is a dark rom-com MM Reaper Human.
Ooh.
Yes.
That sounds so fun.
Yeah, so
look at you with all like these releases just like going in. That's awesome.
Yeah, so I have a release to 2 releases every month. And that's why I can't bring forth anything, because otherwise I'd release like 14 books in like a month.
That's crazy. So you're like, I can't start writing this one until like April. Once you get into the like, I can do this one. How long?
And then it explodes because I'm already writing it in my head in the background.
Yeah, so you're just like putting it down onto paper.
Right.
Like, so super fast. That's awesome.
So I take 3 days off between books, and the next book that I'm doing is my MMM, Puck Them. And it's so it's like enemies to lovers, set match, the captain's an Omega, and he worked really hard to get to this point, right? And the rivals end up and I actually came up with this at a hockey game. I went to a hockey game. I'm really good friends with Veronica Lancet. She was like, I'm taking you to a hockey game in my city in Chicago. It was during book harvest. And so we're sitting here. We watched 2 hockey players from rival teams hug each other. And she looks at me, and I immediately got a story. And she goes, I did that.
That's awesome.
Questions I have, and some of them are weird and they get a little unhinged, so bear with me. Normal one. We'll start there. If you weren't an author, what would you be?
I used to sell sex toys before this.
Yeah. Were you like pure romance, or was it like
pure romance?
Yeah.
That would be.
I
wouldn't sell. I would buy all the things, and I'd probably never sell a single thing. I'd just be like, let me just keep buying myself.
I like tried to like host a party, and I just like bought everything myself, you know. So do you have a favorite sex toy?
Like the one that I like to tell people would make you see God, because it's got a bulb with ridges on it, and so because the fact you're gonna get all the intimate knowledge. Okay,
Wait, go get it. I want to see it.
So it's in my toy box in the room.
But we've got time. Go get it.
right? But what it does is your vagina, it tense, right? So have you
Yeah.
ever like sat on top and been like, oh my goodness, like you're in my throat, and then you have more
Mhm.
foreplay, and then you're not. That's not the thing anymore, right?
Yeah.
Because your vagina tense, it expands to allow something larger than usual
Mhm.
to enter, right? It's
Mhm.
called foreplay. It's why it's so important, right?
Mhm.
So you like rock that back and forth, and it slips behind your G spot, and it stays there while you have a clitoral part that's moving so quickly, faster than
I
the
need to
average
see what this
person.
looks like so I can buy one. Go get it. I need to
Is it a
know.
romance thing or is it
It was
something
a,
else?
it was a PR thing. It was called Main Attraction with PR. So PR and I have an issue, and this is what happened. They let go of all their consultants, so they cut us all loose.
They
What?
did?
If I didn't have books, we would have been in big trouble because I'm like the main provider in my family. So Buck stops with me, and he gave them 2 weeks notice. 2 weeks.
What?
And cut them loose and said, we are no longer providing you with products. We are no longer providing you with any kind of support. Like, good
Just
luck,
like a
Chuck.
man to take away all the orgasms and be like, we're not going to provide you with these anymore.
So I was like, I'm just going to go full force with books. I write basically a book a month, and then it goes to alphas, betas, editing, and then I shelve it for whatever month is going to go out.
That's awesome.
So
I love
cool.
it that you have like your like plan set up though, like
Yeah.
that's great. I love it.
I just noticed my hair is like shaped like a penis right now.
No, it's not.
No. I'm so like, okay, if we start here, here's the balls. I
Right.
don't know why this, but
I
here's the
totally know
balls.
what you're.
It goes up, and then you've got the head. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you have any? Because you have a million characters. Is anybody inspired by people you know in real life?
My first duet is Unwritten Truths duet, and it's about a character who has ADHD. She's neurodivergent, she's young, and she's a really terrible boyfriend, and the terrible boyfriend is actually based off of one of my terrible boyfriends, and I kill him horribly, and it's
Yes.
wonderful, and it's very like cathartic. But people who read that book and who know me were like, that is so you. Like the fact that like she waits to pee, like when you're working and your toes start to curl and you're like, I really should get up. I really should get up and go to the bathroom and grab food. And that's a
Every
very
day.
neurodivergent thing. You know what I mean? Like normal people just are like, wow, I really have to pee. Let me just go do that. You know what I mean? Me, I'm like, no, I just want to finish this last paragraph. I want to check my emails. I want to do this. Like it's
Because
like a
if you stop,
reward.
it's like you have to start all over again. It's
you
the
lose your
whole-
momentum. You forget what you're thinking about. Like, yeah.
So people were like, why would she do that? And I was like, clearly you haven't been so ever into things. You know what I mean? That you were like,
Yeah.
I can't get up. I have to finish. You know what I mean? Because peeing is the reward. You know what I mean? So I call it your toes curling. And I was like, oh man, my toes are curling. I should get up. You know what I mean? My husband will come in and be like, so you haven't really moved today. You should get up and see if you have to go and like do things.
Yeah.
And I was like,
Yeah.
I guess fine. You know what I mean? Because he knows me, right?
Yeah.
So like people say, oh, you don't have ADHD. And I was like, but no. Are you
Yes,
sure?
please diagnose me with your professionalism and your DSM-5.
Yeah.
My doctor tells me I don't have it. And I think it's because I am so productive, but productivity does not have anything to do with English,
Exactly.
especially in women.
Especially, I
Yeah.
was gonna say, especially for women, like the way that
Yeah.
we show it, and we have to learn to mask at a very early age. And so it's like we're functional ADHD. Like I don't have the hyperactivity component. I hate that they took out ADD to ADHD because I don't have the hyperactivity. I just have the squirrel, and like I either get zoned in or I'm staring at a paragraph and I've read it 8 times and I have no idea what I just read. Things like that. But it's like people will be like, well, you're not constantly getting out of your seat and you're not fidgeting and you're not doing all these things. And I'm like, yeah, I'm doing little things. I've got little stems and stuff, but
Right.
you're not going to notice.
Yeah. And like,
Don't diagnose us, bitches.
yeah, exactly. Like they think, like you said, like if you're productive, that doesn't mean you know, you don't have it. And I think it's because it says like attention deficit. And so they're like, how can you be productive? And it's like, no, we hyperfixate on
Exactly.
things. Yeah.
There's so much more to it. And like when you have an object and it's right in front of you, you know you have it. As soon as it's not in your sight, you forget you own it at all. So then you buy another one, and then you buy another one, and it's just like, or you have like the time blindness. There's all these other parts
Yeah.
to it that people don't
They
understand.
don't see.
Yeah.
So someone was like, one of the reasons why you're so successful at writing is because this is your hyperfixation. Like, my characters follow me into my dreams if I don't hit a word limit that I should. Like, if I don't do 5,000 words a day, I'm dreaming about those assholes. They are in my dreams, planning my next chapters, and then I wake up and I have to write it. You know what I mean? And I was like, that was the most unrestful sleep in the world. I'm so tired. My husband's like, what time do you go to bed? I was like, 1. And I got up at 9, but they followed me into my dreams. I was like, I was thinking the whole time it was not restful. And he's like, that's not normal. And I was like, I know.
Yep. I don't know what restful sleep is. I really don't. But I'm still like, it doesn't matter if I'm super tired at 9 o'clock and I'm like, okay, maybe I should start thinking about going to bed. I'm still up till like 1 a.m. at least. And then I try to sleep and I'm do. It's ridiculous. And so I was like, people get restful sleep and they sleep for more than 4 hours? What?
Yeah.
Not me.
I don't get it.
Even on Lunesta, I don't get that. So
Yeah.
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 What is one of the strangest things you know way too much about?
Mental health, the human body, ways to kill people.
Well, let's expand on that.
Social work, how to build like a nonprofit from scratch, which is basically what I did in Unwritten Truths. Like masking, like there is so much about like mental health that I know, because I went to school for it, you know, and
Me
so
too.
I almost was a therapist, and I hated leaving my oldest, and so I would cry when I would have to go to class, and I was like, and I hit this point in my life where it was either follow PR and see where it took me, right, or go to clinicals and be a therapist. And so I sat down with my husband and I was like, I want to do this path and see where it takes me. And he said, okay. He's like always been that person who was like, whatever, we will figure it out. You want to do that? Let's go. And so I remember going to my first party and making $1,100 and coming back. Like crazy money, and going, so this happened. And he was like, I think you got something there, you know? And he was like, okay. And so we went from there and it was great. He retired. And we just kept going. And I think that, the fact that I know so much about the human body because I was pre-med for a bit. I was going to either be a doctor or a therapist, you know,
How
I'm
have we
like,
not
I
talked
am
about this?
Latina, and like your parents are
Right.
like, there's a certain thing that you have to do in your life. You know what I mean? They want to make sure you're set. They want to make sure that you are successful. And for a lot of Latino like parents, it's like doctor or lawyer. You know what I mean? Like that is the path. And so I hate math. So that one was not for me, but I learned a whole lot about the body. You know what I mean? We're like, why is your torture so like, this all makes sense?
It's very like it's this is gonna make me sound weird.
Realistic in a way.
Accurate. It's accurate and realistic, and it all like I guess that probably could have been a question I could have asked, was if you had a scientific background, because there is like a scientific element to it.
Physiology part of it. Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
So I'm like, okay, well, if I do this, then I can prolong this person's being alive. Like someone told me, thank you so much for writing not being an actual real life serial killer, because it could have gone either way.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, oh, my crazy showing.
So out of all your books, what is one of the sexiest lines that like just pops into your head that one of your characters has said?
I don't have favorites. It's terrible. Okay. So Theo in Truths and Unspoken Lies he is talking with Rochelle's dad, and he's trying to explain to him, because Theo has OCD and things have to be logical. He breaks people just to see if they can be broken. Okay. Like, this is not the cute side of OCD. Okay. This is like the not cute side of OCD. Okay. Like, he is a psychopath, and he's talking with Rochelle's stepfather, and he was like, look, there's only so many times that you can break somebody before they turn to dust. You know what he does? He picks up some glass plates. He takes them outside to the patio, and he starts breaking them to see how far somebody has to be before they can't come back. And he starts trying to piece together those pieces of glass, and he realizes they don't go back together the same way anymore. So he says, I will take your pieces of glass and I will help you find the way that they fit together again. And that just,
Aw, that's so
I know. He's just cute
Okay,
little
well, the
psycho.
second part is going to sound weird, because then I was going to say, okay, now do it in the voice that you talk to your dogs in,
I don't have dogs, so it's
or
fine.
cats, or animals, or babies.
yeah.
Yeah, so like it's like an awe, but also a oh my gosh moment. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Because he's like, because it's all about the way their broken pieces fit together and why it makes sense. So like
Okay, I love that.
that is like the duet that is like they scream in the darkness. Like the whole thing is just painful, but like the way they fit together makes so much sense, you know, and that's a duet that has FF and MM in it. And so it's Dark Bully Academy, Secret Society, and there's a death bet to kill Rochelle. So like you have to kill somebody your senior year, and you have to get away with it. And then you basically get the keys to the kingdom, right? You don't have to do what your parents want you to. You know, you don't have to follow into the family business. You are released from your responsibilities, and basically you can do whatever you want, right? And so they're terrible to her. And she becomes friends, well, she's forced friends, right, with somebody named Liliana. And I truly believe that without Liliana, Rochelle wouldn't have made it, you know, because she's got panic attacks and anxiety and like the voices telling her to do things. Like, it's bad. And you know, I get asked often, why is there FF in this duet?
Why
I just
not?
literally had this conversation in a group where people were like, I'd read this if there was an FF in it.
Really?
And so yeah, I had to pull on my let's be nice hat for it. Tried really hard, guys. I think I managed it. They were all trying to like dogpile about how like authors ruin books by adding FF in it. But I truly believe that without Liliana, like Rochelle wouldn't have made it. You know what I mean? Like she needed somebody in her corner, because there are so many times where she almost walks out a window and that's it. Like, it's bad, right? I have heavy mental health stuff that's in my books. And
I
so
was just
it's
going
one
to
of the
say,
reasons
I
why my
love that
triggers
you
are 4
touch on
pages
so
long.
many different parts of things with mental health, because I feel like a lot of people start writing about it, but either they don't fully understand what it is, or parts of it are romanticized, or it's kind of skirted around, like it's mentioned, but then skirted around. And it's like, well, I wish more people would kind of dive more deeply into that, because that really, number one, it helps reduce the stigma, because let's be honest, there still are stigmas out there when it comes to mental health.
There is.
It helps reduce that stigma, but it also brings more awareness and more inclusivity. And I think that's a huge, huge thing, especially in our industry.
Yeah.
I think it's really important. I also think that mental health is not linear. You're not going to, you know, heal something in just the span of one book. So like with Flynn from Not My Sin, he pushes away this really terrible thing that happens to him, and he focuses all on Ren, and he tells his alphas, it's fine. It was one thing. I don't want to talk about it. Right. And then in Fight, you can see where he's hyperfixating, and his hyperfixation is baking, stress baking. Right. And he starts pulling away from his pack, you know, and then in Forget, he loses his shit Like, he starts having nightmares. He breaks down in front of his, like, safe space, and he goes, I'm not okay, and I need to figure out how to be okay. You know what I mean? It takes 3 books to get there.
Yeah.
You know? And so people don't like that. They want everything to be in a little bow by the end, and, like,
Right.
mental health is not linear. Like, it's
No.
gonna take some time sometimes. Sometimes people aren't gonna wanna go to therapy. Like, sometimes murdering everybody just works better. Like, or compartmentalizing or masking, or, you know what I mean? Like, there's so many ways that people get through their mental health, and I try to teach people that not one way is the best.
Yeah.
Like, because all the characters are different.
For
And
me,
there's
it's
gonna
fucked
be
up memes. I send fucked up memes.
yeah.
Makes me feel better.
Like, there's gonna be setbacks too. Like, you can make a bunch of progress
Right.
and then backtrack a bit too, and people don't realize that as much either. They're
Not a
like,
fucking fan. They're like, sometimes she's fine, and sometimes she crumbles. Like, if you're fine, you're fine. If you crumble, you crumble, but you can't go back and forth. And I was like, that's not how mental health works.
no. I'm like, do they know
No.
any people in real life? Like,
I
no.
don't.
Just
I
5
don't think
pages of
so.
grief and loss, and how you're gonna go back and forth constantly.
Yeah.
Mhm. They're
Yeah.
like, it's like a yo-yo. Yes, that's the point.
Yeah.
Right.
There's something really awful that happens in the first chapter of Not a Fucking Fan, and people skip those triggers, and then we're surprised when they read the prologue, and it's bad. And I was like, you have to read my triggers. I come with a warning label for a reason, guys, right?
Yeah.
And those are my warning labels. So they skipped it, and there's a few 1-star reviews where it's like, it's too dark, or there were no trigger warnings. And if you know me, you know that's not correct.
Yeah.
Everything has a warning. But people were
And
like,
even
she's on
saying
this
that, like,
medicine.
yeah, you're even like, your mental health is important. Like, pay attention to this.
Yeah.
So you know what you're getting into. Yeah.
In the
Right.
book, she's on medication that makes everything worse, because you're not supposed to be on those scent blockers for long periods of time. So, like, she's having constant panic attacks, and when she weans herself off of it, it starts to get better. And people said, well, it's like she had a whole, like, mental lobotomy, like she became somebody else. That's the point.
Yeah.
Because medication can do crazy things to you and to make you feel crazier than you are, right?
Yep. That's why
Yes.
all of the medications have a giant list of, like, suicidal thoughts and tendencies, blah, blah, blah. You know, everything that's super crazy, because it changes your brain chemistry, people. Hello.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so people, again, that kind of, like, went over people's heads. And I was like, that's okay. It just means that my book's not for you. You know what I mean? Like, that's okay, you know? But, and I have to tell myself that, because otherwise I would make myself crazy.
Yeah. Like, you absolutely love all your different characters. So I'm gonna ask a tough question. Who would you fuck? Who would you marry? Who would you kill?
My gosh, there's so many. Fuck Gail. Gail is the MC in Isabella. He is the teacher to Isabella, and he's married. And in Isabella, there's kind of like a key party, if you would. Remember the old school key parties?
Yeah.
Like whoever's key you pulled, that's who you're fucking. And so together as a couple, they pull Isabella, right? And, like, Gail is just understanding and, like, a little murderous, which is wonderful. And, like, he has a lot of feelings too, and he misunderstands Isabella to begin with. He's almost bullies her, because this is a nice college, right? Like, why are you wearing holy pants? On that, ends up being that she was being abused, and he didn't understand that. You know what I mean? And so once he figures it out, like, everybody must die. He's like growly. So Gail from Isabella, for fuck. Mary. Oh my gosh, this is interesting. I don't know. Jack from Saved by My Buyers. Gatsby Jack. He's just possessive and growly and will burn the world down for the girls. And then kill. Oh my god. I don't know that I could kill any of them. Even when they're assholes. I don't think I can choose.
You gotta pick one. You gotta pick somebody.
Oh my god.
So
Even
like
if
whoever
it's like
the
a villain who doesn't get killed off or something, you can pick one of those people. I mean, you're supposed to pick people you like, but
Oh my gosh. There's a lot of characters I'm currently going through in my head. So a lot of people really, really disliked Kane in Tangled in Knots because he's a psychopath. And they don't feel better about him until he starts baby wearing dolls, like getting ready for like, his kid coming into the world because he's like insane. Like he doesn't understand things. Like he likes to blow things up, and you know what I mean? Like he's redheaded and insane. And so it's not until he's doing these insane things with like head baby wearing crap and little like baby doll that they really get to see him to understand what he is. It's so ridiculous. I love him so
I
much. So it
love
have
it.
to be Kane. But yeah, no, Kane is amazing. And those the Dresden boys. A lot of people had a really hard time with Tangled in Knots because they make a lot of decisions in impossible circumstances. Like they end up like auctioning off their FMC because like they have to, or you know what I mean, or some more awful things would happen. And so like I tell people, if you have triggers, like that's one of my darkest books, and I think I just wrote an even darker one and not a happy ending. And I was like, so I told my beta readers, I was like, have tissues and do not eat when you read this document. Thank you. I was like, don't
That's
eat.
an awesome caveat. I love it.
yeah.
And I don't usually, my poor team, like they don't usually even get triggers. They just go in
Yeah, they
blind.
just go in.
So it's rare that I even tell them, hey, so I'm sorry.
That's really funny. We need to talk about events. So Heathens and Heartbreakers is April 2027. Do you know what kinds of things you are thinking of bringing there? Like, do you have special stuff, or, what do you got planned?
So I will have a lot of books out by then.
Yeah.
I'm releasing 14 books this year,
Yeah.
so I promise. What? I was like, yes. So I'll have all those. I'll have a priest book out then too. Yeah. So it's called Not a Wicked Night, and it's coming out next year. And it's part of the Forbidden Verse, and he is part of a mafia family, right? But it's old school Italian, okay? And one of them has to be the priest, and the other one, of course, is the mafia boss, if you would, right? And so one of them excommunicated, we don't talk to that brother, right? But the brothers are going to be brothers, and they're going to, always be together, right? So every Christmas, they make sure to see each other, and then he goes to his brother's sex club, and he has sex at the sex club, and they share a girl together. And that is their Christmas.
Okay.
Happy Christmas. I love it.
Right. So when they're there, the girl who goes there is a virgin, right? And like they are told this beforehand, right? They're like told no holds barred, like I want it all, right? There's BDSM, there's the whole 9 yards, okay? Well, he doesn't think anything of it. He leaves like after caring to his brother or whatever, and he, walks out. Well, when they do the novitiate, in the Catholic world for nuns to become nuns, guess who the priest is? Guess who his sit match is?
Fun.
He sends her away, but she's pregnant.
Oh,
and she
my.
disappears not too long after that. And so he and his brother start looking for her.
I love it.
I can't wait. I'm so excited.
It's so fun.
So that's going to be on Heathens and Heartbreakers. I'll have a motorcycle book out by then too, and some of like the I think the first in the series is out by then, and so that entire like motorcycle series is probably gonna be like 6 or 7 books.
Nice.
So, and they are like, guys are 1%ers. Like I don't think people realize like how not nice some of them are, like when you really get into the nitty gritty of things, and that darkness is definitely in these books. And so when you add that with a megaverse, when they're like fated mates and this and the other, people get really mad at you. So I have a way of making people, get mad and then love them by the end of it because of like groveling and such. They're like, how do you make me like these people? Like, they like should be thrown in the garbage. Like, we don't like them. And I was like, just wait. And they're like, but why do I like them now? Like, why do you do this? What do you put in your books? I'm like, crack. It's fine.
Crack.
Like, sorry.
Yeah. So I brought up Heathens and Heartbreakers, obviously, but we're going to see you at a few other events before that. Like, we're going to be at Kink and Ink. And what else you got going on before Heathens?
We're going to be at Authors After Midnight in July. I'm going to be at Sinners and Stardust in August. Fangirl in September. I may have overscheduled myself. It's fine.
I know that feeling.
Harvest in October.
Book Harvest again. Yeah.
Love in Vegas in October. And Spellbound in the Valley in October.
Oh my gosh, you have 3 in October?
Yeah, I'm crazy.
You're crazy.
Yes. I was like, and then I have like 6 for 2027, and then I said I was going to disappear off the face of the earth for events for 2028. Like, I might be doing 2.
Yeah.
I'm taking a really big break.
We were talking about this events for last year. I was like, what was 2023 me doing? I was like, I'm doing all of them. I was like, too much. And then I was like, I'm going to back off. And I still have a whole ton this year. And not as many, but I still have. And then I was like, okay, 2027. I'm doing like 2, and it's because I get so excited about them.
Well, of course you come with me to mine too. So and I do the same thing
your
where it's
readers
like
want you to be there at places. They're excited. And like, especially with how much I publish, they know I'm going to have a whole new set of books out.
Yeah.
Right. No, I did the same thing. 2025, it was like I think I had like 8, and I was like, Branden from the year before was on crack apparently, so I'm not doing that again. And then I forgot that I had signed up for so many and paid for so many in advance. Yeah. So then 2026 comes, I'm like, how do I have 13 events? Yeah. I'm going to die. I'm pretty sure. I'm just going to like flatline.
And when you're there, seeing people and interacting with them, it's like a big dopamine hit, right? And then you leave and then you're like, bleh.
I crash. I crash hard. I think, so for Spellbound, I usually work events alone. Too. Like, I usually do events with Alicia. We're next to each other, with Alicia Williams, we're next to each other, but I don't usually have an assistant. And so, you're reaching for things, you're talking to people, you're telling people about the same books over and over again. You know what I mean? I started doing the cards to help my voice. You know what I mean? So I have like trope cards, and people can just look down. I'm like, okay, I have to preserve my voice. You know what I mean? Yeah. But my mom called me after Spellbound in the Valley, and it's a 2-day event. So after the second day, she called me, and I couldn't make words. And she was like, "You sound drunk, honey." She was like,
"That's the hardest."
So I went to take a nap. She's like, "Get coffee, get food, and then call me afterward." And I was like, "Yeah." I couldn't make words. Hard. She was like, "You haven't been drinking, right?" I was like, "No, I haven't been drinking."
No, and because it gets so loud in there, so you're having to talk even louder. And the worst thing, the thing that I hate the most, I mean, I love that people will come and be like, "Oh, I've been thinking about using you. I want to talk to you later." And I'm like, I sound like shit right now. Please don't judge my voice on how I sound right now, because I've been having to yell and talk over, and I sound like a gremlin. But it happens all the time, and I'm just like, that is not the time to be like, well, I want this person to hear what you sound like. I'm like,
no.
Thank you,
right now it's not a good time. Like, I
sound crappy.
throaty. I sound like a sex operator by the end of it. You know what I mean? Because I have no voice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What's the most useless talent that you have?
Oh my gosh.
We're like in Breakfast Club. Put your lipstick between.
Oh, I don't know if it's useless, but it's a weird one. Okay, so I'm a breadcrumb type of information type of person, right? And so I collect breadcrumbs, process them, and then we'll create something from it, right? And so when I was doing PR, a lot of times people were having various issues, and I was able to breadcrumb together from the information what diagnosis they probably had and told them to go to their doctor. And so they would go to the doctor and be like, "How did you know that?" And I was like, breadcrumbs of information. You know what I mean? Like, I think that's what also has now been like created into my books too. How the breadcrumbs of information become a whole different book later on.
Yeah.
And it's just the weird way that my brain connects things.
That's really cool. I like
I
it.
love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like,
Yeah.
what's useless? I don't know.
Yeah, not useless at all, but super cool.
It's not useless. Yeah. So I got so a couple new games, and I really want to try one. It's a little card game, kind of like Never Have I Ever or like Put a Finger Up, but it's called Hoes Before Bros.
Oh, that's funny.
So I want to give it a try if you guys
Okay.
are up for it. I haven't. We can do like Put
Okay.
a Finger Down. maybe.
10. So put 10 up.
Yeah. Okay. Put a finger down if you could not date someone who doesn't eat out.
Eat out much.
Wait.
Like naughty eat out.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, date, marry, no, but date maybe depending on how long we
No, I'm
dated.
still. You gotta put your face down there.
I mean, if you
Oh,
want me to
that
do it to
one.
you, then
Yeah,
yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
But eat out, like eat out, take food, take out food. Yes. I was like, wait a minute, what kind of eating out?
The deal? Like, what's the thing?
Okay, yes, that is the thing.
Put a finger down if you use Klarna a little too much. No,
No.
that's the like pay later thing, right? I think
Mhm.
I've done it like once. Put a finger down if you have ever recorded a sex tape. Yep. Put a finger down if you're always late. No.
I am,
Then-
so time blindness.
It's fair.
I am not a. Put a finger down if you've lied during this game.
Not yet.
No. Put a finger down if you like it up the ass. Drink, you freaky hoe. I'll put a finger down. It's not like I'm not like, ooh, I need to do this all the time, but I don't
Everybody's there.
I don't dislike it.
What? I was just thinking about it.
No, I'm like,
I
I'm okay with like. It also depends on size, because like I don't want,
right.
That's
just
true.
like yeah.
but like
If
a
it's-
finger and like doing something
Yeah.
that way, yeah, I'm totally fine with.
Yeah.
Or like I don't know, because I've never done this, but like I'm thinking of maybe like a threesome situation where I'm being like
Mhm.
stimulated
Yeah.
elsewhere also.
Right.
So
Yeah.
potentially.
Okay. I think Jen needs to put 2 fingers down for this. Put a finger down if you own a sex toy.
It's true. There's a lot of them.
Put a finger down if you have had sex with more than 10 guys. All right, now I'm on my next 5.
How many fingers? Okay, just because people listening. So I have 5.
Oh yeah,
Jen has 4. Kelly has 5.
I have 5. Yep.
Right, okay.
Okay. Put a finger down if you have a tongue or nipple piercing, Branden. I used to have my nipples pierced, and I took them out because they didn't heal right.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
How's that gonna happen?
It was like a year, and they were still like. So I don't know. Do I put because I used to have them, but I don't anymore. So no finger down. Oh, put a finger down if you have lip filler, hair extensions, or false lashes. Drink, you fake hoe. I wear false lashes sometimes, but not like all
I
the
do to
time.
events, but for
Yeah.
events.
Yeah. Put a finger down if you've ever faked an orgasm.
That's
has?
everybody.
Put a finger down if you've ever pissed yourself. Yeah, laughing. Also, I've had 2 kids.
Not as an adult, I
Yeah.
don't think.
Not like straight up, like totally pee my pants, but I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to pee my pants. And, put a finger down if you've ever sent a nude. Yep. Put a finger down if you've ever had sex with someone else's man knowingly, like if you knew they were with somebody else.
I don't even like to write cheating. I don't think I've ever written a cheating book.
Yeah.
If it was in high school and it was just like rumored, like, oh, they like each other, like, yeah.
No.
No.
Okay.
No. This,
Oh, that counts.
I had to think about that. It says drink if you've used the pull and pray method. And I was like, what? But that just means pulling out, right?
Yeah.
I have.
You have? I'm still one. Oh. Put a finger down if you pretended to be asleep to avoid sex. Yes.
Oh, yeah.
100%. 100%. Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
That was like super fast. Everybody's out now, aren't we?
Mhm.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, that was enlightening. Jen, who was your first celebrity crush?
Oh my gosh. I think it might have been Ricky Martin.
With like in General Hospital when he was the gal. Yeah.
Mhm.
He had that
Oh, I was
hair.
thinking of,
loved
like,
General
La Vida Loca
Hospital. I used
days.
to watch it with my mom all the time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. He had that hair. He did like
Yes.
yeah, speak Spanish and yep. That was a good time. Mm-hmm.
Oh, crushing also with Sunny, which is like he was
Oh, because he was
so bad. And
naughty.
I was like,
Yeah.
and this is where my like beginning of like the bad guys started,
Yeah.
right?
He was like,
And then there was Spike too
I
from
remember Spike too.
Buffy.
Yeah. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I was like toxic.
Yep. Because it was all the like, because they have all those like the toucher and die vibes. Like they're
Mhm.
super awful, but they're very protective of their lady or
Right.
partner. Is there anything about you that you would like your readers to know that they might not know?
So a lot of people don't know that I am Latina. Like it's in my bio and stuff, and I don't think a lot of people know that. I put it in books, and like I have Spanish written into my books and stuff, and all the time people are like, "You're Latina? What?" Yeah, people are always very surprised.
Wow. That's cool. I like it. I mean,
Yeah.
not cool that there's a price. You know what I mean?
Right.
Well,
Ugh.
again, I think it's also because I'm like so pale. Like I am like the palest in like my family, which is really funny. And I was like, I just didn't get the melanin.
Yeah.
Just skipped right over you. Do you have anything else, Brandon? I feel like when we don't drink, we don't go off on as many tangents, which is
That's accurate.
good. Yeah. I'm gonna try to wrap this up. Thanks for joining us, Jen. You're super fun. Yeah, and we'll see you next month, and then we'll see
Yeah.
you a little bit later, and then we'll see you next year, and it'll be great. And I can't wait to read all your new books because I loved
Yeah.
all the other ones. And everybody look for Jen at Heathens and Heartbreakers and all the other events. Yay! Thank you.
Right. Bye.
Bye.